Today, we've got a chock-full schedule. We're going to start off for about the first 40 minutes. I want to introduce both a friend and a colleague and someone who may be of help to you. His name is Troy Nellis. And then Troy's going to introduce himself a little bit, and then he's got some guests.
I got some guests. Yeah, lots of guests. Cool, okay. Thanks, Gerry. All right, guys, my name is Troy. We're on a program here at the college that might be of interest to you. I think that in this era, I call it the era of social responsibility. I teach business for the college. We're really moving toward support of our communities, aren't we? And you guys have definitely been a part of volunteering, I'm sure. But I got a question for you. When you think about how that might look in your life, what do you think that brings to the table? Anybody ever volunteer? I'd love to see. Okay, got some hands, and this is cool. I mean, I've been doing this for 6 years now, and those hands keep coming every year, which is good. That would cement my point. We're in the era of social responsibility. So of those hands for me, share your experience with us. Let me know what you did. One of the hands that came up, this guy, Thai boss. Yeah, that's all I got, man. Your name?
My name is Joseph.
Joseph, okay.
I'm a volunteer at the Ronald McDonald House.
Sweet. And you've been doing that for a while?
The last 5 years.
Oh, awesome.
I work for a mobile DJ company, and I dance for kids, and that's what I did. Put music on and dance for the kids.
Nice. So this is kind of a cool thing. So I'm going to guess that Joseph is going to tell me this is something he wanted to do already. You like DJing, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But you decided that there would be a way you could kind of give that back. So you're having fun with it, but you're giving it back to somebody else, which is cool. 5 years, I like that. What has that done for you? This is a great example. He says 5 years. It's a long time.
Basically what it's done for me, it motivated me to be better like judging skills, I guess. For me and my son.
Okay.
So, yeah, it opened a lot of doors for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like that. I'm going to kind of riff on that for a second and say that Stephen Covey, anybody hear of this guy? 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I don't care what job you're going into, you're going to need this stuff for sure, what Covey has to say. So if you haven't read this book, read it. Anybody read it? Mm-hmm. Anybody know? Okay. Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, says this. This is the core of what he had to say. So I'm giving you the summary of the whole book, right? Fully actualized individuals. What does that mean? Big word. Fully actualized individuals. That means you've reached the pinnacle of personal, career, educational, occupational success, right? You're at the top of your game. Covey says fully actualized individuals, the key to a fully actualized persona is the idea of rooted in service and helping others. That's it. So community service, volunteering is rooted in helping others, right? But by doing that, you're helping yourself, aren't you? Okay, so I'm going to keep going with Joseph for a second, then I want another example. When I think about that, have you put this stuff on your resume? Any of this stuff?
Not yet, because I've been doing it for 9 years. And what made me go back to school was I want to start a fitness camp for kids.
All right, see, okay, now see this deal here? So he says, I want to do this. He started with Ronald McDonald House. Is this going to play pretty big into his goal? For sure, yeah. And what I like about this is when you do this type of stuff, it can feed into your goal really well, can't it? I mean, you're all here for a reason. Congratulations on starting this part of it, right? This is your journey right now. You're getting the education down. You got a fantastic instructor here. He's going to guide you in ways to kind of start thinking about careers, because this is first year experience. Once you're through that, though, you guys are all talking about certain majors, are you not? What are you after, Gerry?
In fact, you just finished that assessment of interests, abilities, and values. So you're beginning to narrow down possible careers. And so this is the perfect time for Troy to come in, because say you look at a few careers and you want to try something out. I mean, not just read about something, but try it out.
Try it out. Give it a test drive is what I say. Thanks, Gerry. So let me fill in a couple of other pieces, and I want to set the stage for one of our community partners. Junior Achievement is with us today. Karen Thompson, Ryan Stoff run this program. I had the pleasure of meeting them only recently. When you think about junior achievement, I'm not going to steal their thunder. They've got a fantastic presentation, but I'm going to link it to my next point when we talk about careers. Education, real strong on this side. Sociology, real strong on this side. Interestingly enough, a business model. So those of you who are thinking about finance, about accounting, about securities markets, about personal finance, even consumer math, that kind of stuff is all kind of pitching their way, and they're gonna share that with you in a second. I want to give you a couple of pieces from the standpoint of kind of, it's good to know where this person has been, meaning me, right? When I'm coming before you to talk about how you can make a difference in your life by using my service learning program, here's the deal, a couple of pieces. I started out in counseling here at this college. I've advised every one of your majors. I know them inside and out. And I can tell you how that curriculum is going to attach to a job, how it's going to attach to the volunteering, how you can make meaning with that information so you guys are getting the job. Do you think we're in a tough economy right now?
No.
You don't? Joseph's saying no, okay. And my friend up here, your name? No. Tammy, okay. Tammy and Joseph tell me no. Any other yeses? Yes votes or all no votes? He's saying yes. Okay.
We are starting to recover, but we are in a bad economy right now.
We are, and why is that?
Only because people lose their jobs, homes, all of this is in jeopardy right now. So the economy is hard right now.
It is. Yeah. Now I would be interested to hear, Tammy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I held on to it for a second. I used to be real good with names, sometimes slips. Joseph, I got him. Tammy and Joseph say, no, not so much. Why not?
Well, I DJ, so
Okay.
people still like pay for
Your
parties.
industry, yeah, we want to have fun, right? Yeah, yeah.
Birthdays, I do bar mitzvahs, so they pay $2,500 for a DJ to come do their event. So I'm not hurting, yeah. But in the same.
I like this, where this is going. Mr. Rockaware, your name?
Robert.
Robert, okay. Robert, Joseph, Tammy, okay. I like where this is going. Tammy, let's get your input.
Actually, I just noticed on yesterday, I was looking at the news and they were talking about the economy, how people are less spending. And the only reason why it's less spending is because of the economy. You have to crank it up. So people are scared to spend money. So in order to crank up the economy, you got to spend money and stop being scared. What are you going to do? Hoard the money?
Yeah,
So,
okay, okay. So that's your point of view. So you're thinking we need to spend a little bit more money. You're supportive of the administration.
You have to spend more money in order to
Okay.
crank the economy.
You guys saw this, right? President Obama thinking about pumping more money into the economy at this point, right? Have we done this already? This will be our third time at the wheel on this deal. What else do we do as an economy? Strategic reserves opened up, right? Oil reserves, was that a good idea? They say no, not in the long run, but what's the government doing at this point? They're opening up those markets, aren't they? Just what Tammy said, we're trying to get you to spend money. If I pay $3.35 at the pump, right, and I was paying $4 before, where might that extra 65 cents go? I might think I can get a water or a candy bar or something, right? A sandwich, I might be able to swing it, not fully for 65 cents, but you see my point. Yeah, so these guys talk about yes, no, bad, good. One thing you guys need to take away from this is, again, this era of social responsibility that I talked about, the idea that businesses are partnering with nonprofits. I talk about cause-related marketing, philanthropy, donation of time and resources, corporate responsibility. Most Fortune 500 companies do have these responsibility statements on the books, right? What does that mean for you guys? Stuff's changing. We'll make it simple, right? Stuff's changing. Stuff's in flux. These guys are right in that there are yes answers, there are no answers. There's more fun, right, in being able to DJ and have a little fun let loose. You're kind of a cheap option right now, aren't you? When we think about that. Yeah, right on. But there's other stuff that isn't, right? So you'll see industries going down. My friend, my assistant in the back, Chris Weiss, is filming just me and Ryan and Gerry and Karen today. So you're not on camera here, but the reason, I know, Joseph, I know, you want your moment, don't you? Yeah, well, we'll hook you up, we'll hook you up. I tell you what, man, I was a DJ as well, that was my first career, so I'm with you. All right, so in saying that, the era of social responsibility, you guys have got to align yourself with what's happening out there, right? This is how you're gonna do it. How's that for full circle? You come back to volunteering, you start getting your skills out there. Why do you suppose that would be a good thing? It's worked for Joseph. He says it's not on his resume yet. why else might volunteering kind of come out on the good side for you? Why is this something you need to do?
For experience.
Experience, your name?
Tierra.
Tierra, okay. Tierra says experience, yeah, number 1 on our list, right? What might be number 2? Nice job, nice job. Experience. What's number 2 on our list?
The knowledge.
Yeah, no, I'm glad she said that. She says to give back. There's kind of a bit of a schism here, isn't there? When I talk about service learning, which I don't think I've used that word yet, have I? Service learning is actually what I do, right? So, in service learning, what is that about? It's volunteering as connected to education. That's what it is. So, your teachers, your instructors like Gerry would say, hey, I want you to practice some of the stuff you're learning in here out in the real world, right? When I was in college, I would have killed to have this, right? Because you're sitting in these classes and you're thinking, well, what in the world? How am I going to use this when I get on the other side? Well, our school says, and I got 45 faculty strong that say this, we are interested in having you connect what you're doing out in the community right to the stuff that you're doing in this classroom. Fancy, fancy word, experiential learning. Well, what is that? Putting experience into practice. That's all it is, okay? So when I think about this, we got this schism in terms of service learning is kind of altruistic, another big word, right? It's about giving back and being helpful for no monetary compensation, for nothing other than to help somebody else. The other side of it, though, is the skills side. The side where you guys can put your skills to practice. As your instructor says, I need to test drive some stuff, right? I'll tell you this, we have 212, I think actually you guys are 213. I'll have to do my numbers again, it might be 214. Community partners that I work with, right? All walks of life. What I found about 3 years back is I said, service learning, kind of a one myopic look, kind of a narrow look at stuff, right? There's other things you could do with this, like internships, right? We have paid internships in some cases, so I call that Service Learning Plus. Another aspect of the Plus program, something your instructor loves, is the idea of job shadow. You guys have heard of that. Yeah, because we need to watch kind of what people are doing. My favorite memory when I was in advising criminal justice, had so many majors come to me and say, I want to go into criminal justice major because I am interested in being a forensic scientist. You know, I like the dream, right? But just looking at me and saying, you know that CSI program? That's what I want to do, right? That's cool, that's cool. I don't want to stamp on anybody's dream, but here's the deal. In the state of Minnesota, we have 2 forensic scientists. Those are lifer positions. They never leave those jobs. They're never fired. What's your chance at that? Probably pretty close to nothing, right?
Well, in Minnesota.
In Minnesota. Good point. Good point. Tammy says Minnesota, 49 other states. But in California, we only go up to 10. So again, we're talking about some real slight numbers, right? So I tell people, think about this. Why don't you try looking at this job, number 1, to see if this is what you want to do with your life. Once you've looked at it, let's see if this fits with your skills. Have you guys ever checked out a site called ONET? You ever hear this thing? Make sure we got 20 minutes. I'm going to kind of put a wrap on this so I can get my friends up here. Ryan and Karen. I talk too much, but I get excited about this stuff. You guys need to write this down, even though my marker's about dead. ONET, okay? That is put out by the U.S. Department of Labor and Statistics. Every single job in the United States is categorized under this database. We're going to find stuff like this. What kind of skill sets do I need? What sort of education do I have to have? What would be required of the field? Fields are changing all the time. Paralegal used to be a 2-year degree, boom, you're hired. Not so much anymore. Now it's a 4-year degree you need for sure. Market's too competitive, right? What about the idea, I'm going to pick on you, Joseph, one DJ to another. I tell you what, man, I didn't look into what a DJ would make at all. I'm not going to date myself. I almost dated myself. I'm going to hold back. I won't date myself. But a long time ago, I was a DJ. I had no idea what kind of money that was going to get me, right? It's poor. Okay, what do we know, Joseph, about radio share and market share with radio?
Nothing really.
Nothing. Okay? It's all, I kind of revealed it in my answer, it's all market share, right? So I was in Wausau, Wisconsin. That's 133rd out of 147 markets. You think they're paying me much? No. Where's Minneapolis? 29th. So it's quite a bit, right? 29 in the market, right? Market share. So, Don Shelby, you pick your favorite sportscaster, newscaster, whatever. Are they making some coin? Sure they are. What do I need to know about radio and DJing that I didn't know back then? It's paying your dues. Yeah, you labor for a long time. You might have already started to find this out, right? Generally 7 to 9 years is the industry standard, and you've got to kind of hop up those market shares, right? And all along the way, there's peril, because the reality is they may say, you know something, you aren't ready for prime time. You don't have the skills we're quite looking for, so then people stop, right? That'll mean your salary stops as well. This is good stuff to know. And you can find this out with volunteering as well. I have a whole whopping 2 minutes to introduce Ryan and Karen, but I wanted to show you this real quick. I'm going to go with an easy example. Usually I ask for examples from the audience. I went with accounting, okay? So maybe some of you are thinking accounting, I have no idea. Do you have any idea what kind of money you're going to make, and is there a job waiting for me when this is all said and done? Do you know? You're going to know now. This is where you need to go. What you'll find is all kinds of crazy stuff. What kind of education do I need? What kind of skills and abilities do I need to possess? If I can get this mouse working, I'll show you the rest of it. What you'll find at the bottom, anybody want to stay in the state, or are we interested in Massachusetts?
I'm leaving.
You leaving? Illinois? All right, I heard Illinois.
You said they wanted
Good state, I live in Illinois. We're in Illinois. We're in Illinois, man.
Chicago.
Beautiful. So, we're looking at Illinois, we're talking about accounting. Take a look at this stuff here. Holy man. This is a high hiring field. We're looking at 2,000 jobs every year for the next 10 years. That huge? Yeah. Look at the money. If I drag it back down for you. Look at this money here. That look like something you want to do? You know, in the accounting field, you're going to be at the 4-year degree with some level of experience sitting about right here. By the time you hit 5 years, you're going to be there. 10 plus years or better with the right accreditation, the right degree programs, you're going to be sitting in these numbers. Okay? Take a look at this in your free time. Sure.
And this is a good connector to what you've been doing on eDiscover. There's a lot of this information on eDiscover, but this goes into even greater detail. So add this to your list of things that you explore. So this is very good.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the deal. I got to get Ryan and Karen up here because they've got a lot of important stuff to tell you about junior achievement. Let me close with this. This is an assignment that is kind of free-floating. We'll maybe double back on what Gerry's thinking about. Yep. But know this, I was a career specialist for a number of years, University of Missouri, Columbia. So the counselor piece, the career piece, now a director piece, I'm telling you, this works. You volunteer, you get your name out there, experience as, oh gosh, Tanisha, no, that's not right. Tiara, oh, I screwed it up, Joseph. Tiara, I know. Good thing I got you as my wingman. So, that's it. So this is the deal. Think about this. I'm going to introduce Ryan Stoff and Karen Thompson. They run Junior Achievement, the Midwest chapter, am I right? Upper, I almost said upper and I held back. Kind of a photographic memory. My friends, I'm going to pull up your PowerPoint and let's get this running. Yeah. All right. Right there, NHCC presentation. That looks all right. Thinking about it. Okay, and we'll catch some questions at the end, guys.
Excellent. Well, good afternoon, and thank you for having us here this afternoon. Just spend a little bit of time with you to talk about junior achievement. We're excited to be a new community partner for North Hennepin Community College, and I think what we're here to really talk about today is to give you an understanding of who we are, and you can kind of put that in the context of what you just heard from Troy. But also we're going to talk about how we can engage you in our work. Our work relies almost exclusively on volunteers. We primarily get volunteers from the business community, but are working more with post-secondary institutions in terms of engaging students in our work, which really revolves around teaching students in elementary and high school classrooms. Very, very important concept. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to give you the 30,000-foot view of junior achievement, who we are, what we do. Then we're going to kind of drill down in how you can engage in our work within the community. So,
cool arrow keys, right?
Yeah. From the overarching view, Junior Achievement is the world's largest organization dedicated to educating students in 3 focus areas: financial literacy, college and career readiness, and entrepreneurship. Since Junior Achievement's inception, we've reached about 93 million students across the globe with our programming. We have about 135 locations nationwide with additional locations across the globe. And our work really comes from a place of understanding that the future generation of consumers and workers in our economy is currently sitting in classrooms across the region. And certainly, as students here, you somewhat fit into that category, but you're also in a unique position in that you have the opportunity to take what you're learning and actually give that back, pass that knowledge down to younger generations. And we're going to talk a little bit about how you can do that through Junior Achievement. But Junior Achievement was most known for an after-school business education program for high school students. We actually used to bring students together after school that were in high school, and they would form a business and actually participate in all aspects of that business, from starting up the business to getting investors to running the business to actually paying those investors back. Since that time, we've actually evolved into more of K through 12 programming that actually helps students understand the important concept of financial literacy, college and career readiness, and entrepreneurship. So our goal, our mission is to inspire and prepare young people to succeed in a global economy. And focusing in an area like financial literacy with the current economic challenges that we have had has certainly brought heightened awareness to our work. But we also look at things like the 2010 National Credit Counseling's Financial Literacy Survey, in which 77 million Americans gave themselves a grade of C, D, or F when it came to issues of personal finance. We also look at issues like the dropout rate. We can tell from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics that by 2018, 70% of jobs in this community will require some form of post-secondary education. And yet, while statistics vary, we know that we have a dropout rate that's around 20%. So we need to be able to close that gap. And there are significant implications for doing that. If the Minnesota Department of Education recently came out with some data that told us if the dropout rate of 2008 were to be cut in half, that by the time those individuals who didn't graduate, but if they would have graduated, by the time they hit their mid-year career earnings stride, that would have put about an additional $100 million of annual economic activity into our communities. And so it's critically important that we do this, that we educate students. And what we do in a nutshell is we take nationally developed curriculum programming that speaks in those areas that I mentioned before. We utilize volunteers to go into classrooms and to teach this curriculum. And so that's really how we can engage each and every one of you. And Karen's going to talk a little bit more about what that looks like. But from an impact standpoint, we mobilize about 7,000 volunteers across the region each year. And when I talk about region, I'm talking about all of Minnesota, all of North Dakota, and we actually hit a couple of counties in western Wisconsin. So we mobilize over 7,000 volunteers to reach 650 schools. That's about 4,500 classrooms. And this past year, our fiscal year actually ends. It's current with the school year, so it ends on Thursday. And when all said and done, we will have reached 122,000 students with this program. Certainly a significant number in and of itself. It's up about 10,000 students from the previous year, but we're still only in about 10% of the market, of the education market that exists out there. So there's more to be done. And our ability to grow is really based on our ability to raise funding to support the programming so that we can provide this for students and schools for no cost, and our ability to secure volunteers to engage in our work, which is one of the reasons why we're here today. So reaching 122,000 students that with over 1 million hours of programming. So for every student that we engage, we're engaging them in about 5 to 7 hours of programming or curriculum. Strategically, we have a focus on reaching a number of students with a high number of program hours, but we also have a focus on at-risk populations, and we define that as schools where at least 40% or more of the student population qualifies for the free or reduced lunch program. We know that students from the schools face significant barriers. They need mentorship, they need enriched discussion and education to help them succeed and overcome significant challenges that they face. And we also focus on what we call sequential delivery, which means that all of our programming, we provide programming for kindergartners through 12th graders, and it's all age-appropriate curriculum. So in kindergarten, we're teaching students about the difference between coins. By the time we have curriculum that's targeted towards seniors, in high school we're teaching them about the concepts of personal finance. But we look at our programming on a sequential basis, meaning that if we can have 3 consecutive years of programming in a school, that increases learning outcomes. So if we're in 3rd grade, we want to be in 4th grade and 5th grade, so that as those students move along each year, they're building on the concepts that they learned the year before. So as I said, over 20 age-appropriate programs. All of our programming correlates to state education standards in social studies and math, so that's a great value to educators. All of our programs are evaluated for effectiveness. In the past 5 years, all of our programming has been evaluated by an outside evaluator in terms of gauging the effectiveness of our programs. And the way we can engage volunteers is either in the classroom or capstone experiences, which we'll talk about. But Karen's going to dive a little bit more in terms of what our volunteer component looks like.
Hi, how are you? Anybody ever been a JA kid? Anyone had a JA volunteer in anywhere along their schooling years, K-12? Okay, all right. Well, hopefully we'll have made a difference now in the schools that where you guys went in the future. Karen Thompson's my name. I'm in charge of outreach and education at Junior Achievement. And what I have in my hand here is a program kit. So how does this all relate to you as individuals? What we look for and how we utilize volunteers is that we place a volunteer in a classroom for a short-term volunteer opportunity. That volunteer, let's say Tammy, would go into a classroom. We would give Tammy this kit. This is a kit for 3rd graders. This kit is full of materials that Tammy would use for that entire 3rd grade class. The time commitment on Tammy's part is approximately 5 hours. All right, 5 hours. 5 lessons in our elementary school programs. As some of the statistics said, we're in about 4,400 classrooms, but in the Twin Cities metro, 11 county metro area, we're in more than 2,000 classrooms. We utilize the help of a lot of volunteers right in this Twin Cities metro area. Tammy says, yeah, I'll teach a class in Brooklyn Center to 3rd graders. We give Tammy this kit of material. We give Tammy the teacher's contact information. Tammy contacts that teacher and says, I'm going to be your JA volunteer this year. I can volunteer on Tuesdays or Thursdays. She and the teacher figure out a 45-minute period that Tammy can come in once a week to deliver 1 lesson once a week for 5 consecutive weeks. So she and Tammy figure out that Tammy can go in there between 12 and 1 o'clock, for instance, 45 minutes, we'll just 12 and 1 o'clock, starting Thursday, September 1st, and then for 5 consecutive Thursdays, Tammy will go into that 3rd grade classroom and teach 1 JA lesson with every visit. A lesson, again, is 45 minutes long. What do? This material is full of hands-on engaging activities that talk to kids at their level about how to be financially responsible, what the importance of setting goals, so part of one, and being successful and looking at different careers that they might be interested in. And as you talk to them about setting goals, you're talking to them about being successful, and one of the elements of success is staying in school and graduating from high school and setting your goal on some type of higher education. So you get them engaged because you talk to them about being a city planner. And we have little buildings that they put together. So one of the activities on one of the lessons is that we put up a big floor mat. And on that form map. They get around that, that form map, and they put their buildings around, and we talk about how city planners don't just willy-nilly put buildings together or put cities together, but they actually have a whole planning system where there is a system engaged where there's a farming and residential and industrial and business and multi-purpose areas. All right? We talk to the kids about, well, what if they want to be an architect? So we give them a blueprint to read, and we give them little rulers, and we talk about how to be an architect you have to use math, and so 1 inch is equal to 1 foot, and so we have them calculate how big this room is using their rulers, so they're using their math so they understand these things. If they want to own a restaurant, cool, math is still important. So all these things, again, on their grade level. The books that we give you, this is a guidebook, is all really quite laid out as exactly how you would teach the lesson. It's all laid out. In this first lesson, it says right here for 10 minutes you'd have your introduction, then you do your activity for 30 minutes, then you do here's more, that's the activity, and then here's your summary and review for 5 minutes and you're done. And again, activities are accompanied with every 45-minute lesson. So the rule of thumb is you're lecturing for about 10 minutes, and the rest of the time you're going into these fun, engaging activities with these kids. We give them a check and we say, yes, you can write a check out to grandma, your mom and dad, and yes, it can be $1,000. But you know what? You have to put a deposit. So we give them a deposit, so check registry. I know a lot of people aren't using check registries, but it's the concept. You have to have money in the bank to write a check. Ooh, concepts, you know. We talk about debit cards, you know, that kind of stuff. To third graders, to kindergartners, first graders, fourth graders. All right, kindergarten through 12th grade. We generally use our college students in our elementary K-5 programs. All right, if you're really interested in getting involved in high school, we can get you involved there. But about 70% of what we do is elementary school. And we have schools, again, all over the metro area. The other thing I know we're running out of time. I brought some annual reports, and I'll leave a couple certainly with your teacher. The reason I brought these annual reports is that I really like, particularly our college students, to know the Junior Achievement has a very large board of directors. Again, we're an affiliate of our JAUSA, Junior Achievement Office. It's the JA way to have a very large board of directors. We have chief financial officers, CEOs, presidents, and vice presidents from U.S. Bank, Wells Fargo, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Best Buy, General Mills, the big companies up here in the Twin Cities. And we utilize about 150 volunteers from another college, the University of St. Thomas. We've had that relationship for a long time. Those kids are now in the business world. They got involved with us about 5 years ago, and they tell me again and again and again, when they're sitting in their interviews in these companies with a panel of people, 2 of those people are volunteers with JA. And so not only are you talking about yourself and your personal experience and your education, but you have something in common. Yeah, I taught the 3rd grade program over at X school, and so you're talking as peers to them as JA volunteers. In the metro area, we're using about 5,000 volunteers, and they primarily come from these major businesses. And so you're not only going to hone your presentation skills, regardless of how you feel about talking in front of a group. They are 3rd graders, they are kindergartners, they are 1st graders, they're very forgiving, but you're still getting up and talking in front of a group. And so you're going to prepare, there's time management involved in skill building and in this activity, and there's a way to do some networking with some of the people within the business community that support junior achievement. Right? So it's really a win-win-win all the way around. Any questions? I don't know, I didn't look at the clock.
No, we're good.
We're good. Have the time.
3, 4 minutes, Gerry? Sure.
Okay. All right, we're on the...
Yeah, I would just say that, to piggyback off what Karen has really laid out here, we make this super easy for anybody that wants to volunteer. So if you're at all interested and we can get the touch points in terms of how you get engaged with us, we have a volunteer description on Troy's website. But we provide training, we provide you with all the materials, tip sheets, These kits are designed so you can pick one up right now and head over to a school and teach a program. We hope that you would spend a little bit more time with that because we ultimately want you to infuse yourself into the programming, to talk about your background, talk about your experiences, talk about the importance of education and how it's made an impact on your life, to really relate those concepts to the students. And again, what the structure that we have worked out with teachers is very flexible to get you engaged. Just real quickly to let you know that we also have opportunities at our facility in Maplewood, which is a long ways from here, but if anybody's interested, we do have a 10,000 square foot facility it's a kid-sized city. So
I went there.
Did you?
Hey, you're
Excellent.
right.
Yes. I brought some pictures of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
So it's called JA BizTown, and what we do is we have student groups come in and they actually have 20 lessons in the classroom prior to arriving at BizTown, and in those lessons they have to find a job, they have to interview for a job. There are 14 businesses within BizTown, so they have to get a job, and when they arrive at BizTown, they have to not only manage their personal finances, but they have to facilitate the running of their business. And so it's a great way to kind of see the concepts of connectivity and the global economy in action, to see how an economy works. So if any of you are interested, we also need volunteers to just accompany students and help them run their particular business. It's a little bit of a longer commitment. It's probably about a 5-hour day, but if there's interest, we can engage.
The town has a radio station.
Yes, the town has a radio station. Yes, yep. And so the town, I brought this picture. People say, well, what are you learning when you're doing this? There's a health and wellness center, and they have a dance competition
That would be
at
wild.
2 points throughout the day to promote healthy living. So we could certainly use someone to show some good moves, most definitely. But there's information on our website. You can connect through the site here at NHCC, and we would be happy to talk with you further about how we can engage you in our work. Certainly there's benefits to the education that you're receiving right now. There's benefits to your future in terms of who and how you can connect with businesses when you graduate. But then there's also benefits to the students that you're going to reach. Many of these students, they need caring adults just to be that role model, to be that example, and we know that each and every one of you can certainly be that. So thank you for your time. We appreciate it. We can answer any questions, but we'd love to engage you in some way if there's interest.
Thank you very much.
One thing I neglected to mention is the teacher stays in the classroom when you're working with these kids, okay? So they assist you at all times, they're in charge of discipline, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Radio.
Okay, guys, here's the thing. I think experience is powerful. Testimonials are powerful. You heard about testimonials. Personal, anecdotal things. So, Tiara. Say it again.
You said it right.
I said it right. Sweet. I got it. See, Joseph, you helped me out. You said you were at Junior Achievement. I mean, I can stand up here all day. Ryan and Karen could stand up here all day, but I think your story is going to be a powerful one to sell it to your classmates. So, stage is yours.
It was very, influential. You got to, like, the prior knowledge before, you got to do the job interview and everything. And when you get there, you got to go to your job. They got a police station, a hospital, got a restaurant. They got everything in there. It's like the kids is adults. I mean, you live as an adult here, like you working and everything. It's real cool.
So I can just take my son there, like on the weekend or something?
No, you got to.
They got to go to school.
Yeah, you'll have to be old, but yeah,
So-
yeah. But I like what she said. You heard this saying before. It's not what you know, but who you know, right? Yeah, straight up. So networking is something Karen had hit pretty hard in her deal when she talked about the Wells Fargo and the U.S. Bank and da-da-da-da-da. You guys got to know people. And I tell you, networking is going to be powerful for you. So here's my wrap-up on this deal, and I hope that you come and see us. I hope that you work with Junior Achievement. Here's the thing. You guys are good at stuff, and you know what you're good at already, okay? You have the education piece. Education is a timestamp, if you will, of what you're proficient at. I am good at law enforcement. I am good at nursing. I am good at business. If you have that degree on the paper, that's huge, right? It tells people what you want. But here's the thing. You guys are missing stuff. You know what you're missing to break into that next deal. You need to take a look at my service learning website. We didn't talk a lick about this today, but this is the deal. I didn't bring any brochures. It's very easy if you go on my website. Service learning, all one word. You're going to see all 214 partners up here, including junior achievement.
Mr. Troy, so how would you get in there from, like, because that's not going to pop up. So do you go under student login?
I like it, Tammy. Let's do this. Do this up for you guys right. Okay? You've seen this 1,000 times, right? You know this deal. You just go up to that top.
That's a security guard, right?
Yeah, right. That's right, man. You got it. Service learning. All one word.
Does everyone see that? It's
Easy.
/service learning.
Easy. Organization type. Look at this deal. Oh, look at all these partners waiting for you. Look at all the stuff they want. Okay, it's all spelled out for you. All you need to do is go here for me. If you see stuff like this, the partner says, we're pulling this out. I want North Hennepin people here. They've done this for me with applications and those sorts of things. Sometimes, though, you'll find sites like, oh, figures, there's none up there. Oh, here we go. Phyllis Wheatley Community Center. See that one up at the top? If you do not see this kind of stuff getting spelled out, go onto their website. Every one of them has a volunteer tab. You hit that volunteer tab, it'll take you to what they're looking for. If you don't like the looks of this, go ahead, Tim.
I'm sorry. So, like, if we did happen to go into Phyllis Wheatley and it goes into there, and let's just say we want to volunteer and we call them, do we throw you in, network you in, and say, you know?
Great question. Great question. I love that. I'm about empowerment. We've run about 800 students through my programs over the years every semester. I'm one guy with Chris back here, my assistant, and we have Ty in the office. Just 3 of us. Pretty tight ship, right? We can't possibly meet everybody's needs, and I'll try to as much as I can, but as much as Tammy is saying, jump on this, and do it yourself. Mention my name, mention the service learning program. I am a North Hennepin Community College student, and I'm applying for this. What you'll find in some of them is the application is right there. So you can have that downloaded, electronically submitted, boom, you're done. But you may have to call some of them, like resource. They'll want to call, and that'll be evident when you open up this stuff. All of these partners will walk you through what they want, because we're all about time management, right? It's too tough to have too many people in the middle of stuff. That help? Okay. Last point, because Jerry, we got to get out of here. Internships. Paid internships are important, right? Service Learning Plus is something that I offer. That's on the career field side of that left navigation panel. So what you can do is you can pop onto this deal. Look what I do now. I went ahead and did all the majors at the campus, and we're actually expanding this now. But you'll see where the partner has self-identified, I want nursing students, purely. So if you want to link this up to your major, this is how you're going to do it. I will point out internships, though, got to be at the end of your deal. Can't be in the beginning of your deal. So wherever you are in your journey here, if you're a year and a half in, that's about where you should be thinking about internships. If you're in your first year, go to the service learning side. What's the reality of going in on the service learning side? If they like you, they're probably going to bring you back, aren't they? And they're going to say, I have a paid internship or something, and you'll get into it at that point. Beautiful? So you're missing stuff. Take a look at this for me. My office in the library, happy to take appointments. You'll see on my website the numbers you need to call. I have 2 secretaries, one that sits right at the front of the library, one at the back of the library. Make an appointment with me anytime. Your instructor, Mr. Huerth, says, you know something? This is going to play out pretty well for you if you decide to work with my program, but I need a commitment. You guys look smart. I know you're not going to let me down, but every semester I'll have people that say I want to do this, and then I get a call from the partner saying they never showed up. I don't want that call. So understand, I know you guys are great, and I know you're going to do this for me, but understand if you're going to make this commitment, know that it's a commitment. You got your education, you got your kids, you got your life. I got all that stuff going on too. Make sure this fits and that you have the time to devote to it, because it's kind of exciting, isn't it? I can hook into this and I'm going to start doing stuff and I'm going to get hired, but I want to be sure that you guys can do this in your schedule. So make that commitment, not lightly. Make it a strong commitment for me if you decide to work with my program.
So your needs for exploration, for wonder, for curiosity, for moving ahead, these can be addressed with this program, but we also want you to respect Troy's need for responsibility, for contact, for follow through, because he also has a program that he is responsible for. So we want it to be responsibility on both sides. So I want you to think about this. Next class, I'll bring it up again. We'll talk about it. Just think about it. If there's some way where you can use service learning to explore the careers that you are possibly interested in, and then also in the same time giving back. And Junior Achievement is one of those partners, but Troy has, how many partners do you have?
213.
213. And so if there's a career that you're thinking about, and you don't find it on his website, contact him. Troy knows more people than anybody else I know, anyway. He's got lots of connections. Okay? So we'll talk about this next class. And you've got an interest form, maybe last year.
Yeah.
And
It's right here.
yeah, but I'll make copies.
Okay. Guys, Jerry's talking about an interest questionnaire. I'm really glad that he mentioned this. What we did a long time ago, if it'll pull up, is actually developed a form for you to kind of narrow this journey down. So you see this thing, it's right on the main web page. Just thinking about it. Fill that out for me before you show up. This is going to tighten the game for me. With 800 students a semester, it's more than a struggle to get you all in. So if I can do a 20, 30-minute appointment, you fill this thing out, it's going to get us on the right path right away and fast, so we don't have to talk about a lot of stuff. Just get you started.
So would you send me an email,
Yeah.
attached copy, and then I'll give copies out to you, whoever is interested. So you can think about it. It's been a rush today, and I know that that's kind of hard, but now we're going to relax and
You guys make this work.
thank you.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thank you very
Fred.
much.
Hey, Chris. All right, see ya.